Hello, little explorers, and welcome back to the Katha Lantern. I'm your host, Ritu, and today we are opening a giant book of royal mysteries. But first, I have a glowing lantern letter right here in the studio, and it's from a very quick thinker named Aarav.
Ooh, another lantern letter. I wonder what kind of puzzle did Olive solve?
Well, Ira, he figured out exactly what to do when someone asks you an impossible question. I'm going to read out his letter right now. Dear Ritu and Ira, yesterday a boy named Mario wanted to be the captain of our soccer team. He stood in the middle of the grass and said, whoever could guess exactly how many blades of grass were on the entire field would become the captain. Everyone else said it was impossible. But I stepped up and confidently said, there are exactly 99,432 blades of grass. Mario looked shocked and asked how I knew. I just smiled and said, if you don't believe me, you can get down on your knees and count them yourself. So he gave up and I got to be the captain.
Ha! That was brilliant. He really didn't know the answer, but he was so confident.
Exactly. Aarav did not panic and he definitely did not give up just because the question was a tricky question. He used his imagination and a whole lot of confidence to outsmart the other person. And that is exactly what happens in our story today. Let's open our giant book and travel back to the grand palace of Emperor Akbar, where his smartest minister Birbal is faced with the most impossible question in the world. Long ago, on a beautiful breezy afternoon, the great Emperor Akbar was taking a walk in his magnificent royal gardens. Walking right beside him was his favorite, cleverest minister, Birbal. The emperor was in a very playful mood. He loved his clever minister, but he also loved to test him. He was always trying to find a question that Birbal couldn't answer. As they walked past a giant mango tree, a huge flock of shiny black crows suddenly flew up into the sky, squawking loudly. Emperor Akbar stopped. He looked up at the sky, and a mischievous smile spread across his face. He turned to Birbal, and with a booming, challenging voice, Emperor Akbar said,
Tell me, my clever Birbal, since you know everything about my kingdom, exactly how many crows are there in my entire empire?
now, think about that, little explorers. An huge empire which was as great as the ancient India. There are forests, cities, mountains. It is absolutely impossible to count every single bird in the sky. But Birbal did not panic. He didn't sweat. He didn't say, I don't know. Instead, just like Aarav at the soccer field, Birbal stood tall, smiled a very confident smile, and did not hesitate to say,
That is a very easy question, Your Majesty. There are exactly 95,463 crows in your kingdom.
Emperor Akbar's eyes went wide. He could not believe it. Birbal had answered so quickly and so confidently that made Emperor Akbar think how to trick him. And Emperor crossed his arms and said,
Are you sure, Birbal? What if my royal guards go out and count every single crow and they find out there are actually more than 95,463 crores?
And the clever Birbal laughed and said, "Well, Your Majesty, if there are more crows than I said, it simply means that some crows have relatives who are visiting them from the neighborhood kingdoms."
Emperor Akbar tried not to smile. He tried one more trick. And then Emperor Akbar said,
Okay, clever one. But what if my guards count them and there are fewer crows than what you said?
and Birbal bowed gracefully and said,
Then that is wonderful news, Your Majesty. It just means some of our crows have gone on a vacation to visit their friends in other kingdoms.
Emperor Akbar burst out laughing. He laughed so hard, his royal tummy shook. He knew Birbal had made the whole number up, but he was so impressed by Birbal's confidence and quick thinking that instead of being mad, the emperor gave Birbal a beautiful gold ring for his brilliant, unbeatable answer. And that, Ira and Little Explorers, is how you handle an impossible question.
I love that so much. Bilbo and Aarav did the exact same thing.
They really did. Sometimes in life, people will ask you tricky questions, or you might face a problem that seems totally impossible to solve. When that happens, you don't have to panic or feel bad. Just take a deep breath, stand tall, and use your imagination. A confident brain can talk its way out of almost any tricky situation.
Just be confident and maybe send some extra crows on vacation.
Exactly. All right, little explorers, it is time for today's Katha canvas. Grab your crayons, your paints, or your markers. Today, I want you to draw Emperor Akbar looking up at the sky, completely filled with squawking black crows. Or you can just draw a few crows flying into the sunset. Make sure you write your name on the page and ask your grown up to send us a picture on the Katha Lantern at gmail.com or send us a DM at the Katha Lantern. We will make sure that your masterpieces are displayed on the Katha Lantern Instagram highlights gallery. We love to see how creative and confident your brains are. And parents, if your little explorers loved the tricky situation and the impossible answer, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you're listening right now. Liking this episode or giving us a kind review will also help other families find the magical impossible answer. Until next time, I'm your host, Ritu. Stay curious as you grow and let your imaginations glow.